Holy cow. Good morning, everybody. It's Henry from Mowers and Blowers. It is Tuesday, and we're in Huntington, Long Island. If you look at Long Island, it's about that long, right on the map. Manhattan, Queens, Brooklyn, Nassau County, Suffolk County, right around the middle, upper part near the coast, near Connecticut. That's where I am, for those of you who are unfamiliar with Long Island. Suffolk County stretches between half of that long cigar all the way to the end, Montauk, North Fork. So I'm right there. According to the map from our favorite weatherman, he says that Long Island is going to get about 1 to 3 inches. So I take it back. They were right on the money. We got about an inch on the driveway, you know, and about inch and a half on the cars, you know what I'm saying? So he was pretty close. 1 to 3 inches is all we got. I know people north of us got plenty more, and way up there, like maybe 3 hours north, they got about a foot or more, you know. Anyway, this was slushy stuff that we got, you know, and I didn't get much sleep last night because the plows were going left and right on the streets at like 2 in the morning, you know. And when the plows go by, and my dog Boba is not used to it, it's barking like there's burglars coming into the house or something, so didn't sleep very well. Boba, shut up! Anyhow, it's also so light that I just used a shovel and just pushed it away, you know. I wanted to try out some snow blowers, but it's not a good test for snow blowers at all. This is just dusting. I'm very disappointed. I would have liked to have a lot of snow. My kids would have loved to have a lot of snow too, so they don't have to go to school. Anyway, this is that free John Deere Js63 that I picked off the street through a curb alert on Let Go. And this thing runs great, you know. I know my friend Jason also has he picked up the same one off the street too. I remember Jason said that he wanted to come and check out mine because he's missing a couple of springs or something. And the only springs I know about are on the carburetor, right? I'm gonna, you know what I'm gonna do with this? I'm gonna do an engine swap on this today. Why? Because this thing, while it starts and runs great, there's nothing wrong with it, okay? Once in a while I'm mowing, it smokes. You know what I mean? And I checked the Earl's good, so I think the piston and rings are starting to go, you know, which is why it smokes. If I'm going to get good money for this, it can't smoke, you know? Especially at startup. So, my friend Nick from Medford gave me this engine a while back. It was through a trade or something like that, and this is off a power washer. So there's an issue on this compatibility. While it is the same exact engine, as you can see, right? The kind with this corner type bubbly looking air cleaner. That power washer is actually a 7 horsepower. This is a 6.5. Same exact air cleaner. This is a primer. Right? I thought this was an auto choke because most power washers are auto choke. But I took a better look at it. Oh, wait a minute. See? That tricked me. It looked like this was a primer in the dark. But this is also an auto choke. So, I mean, whatever. Auto choke was even better than one with the primer. You know, with no primers makes it more valuable. However, I don't think this will go anywhere. You know, this brake cable is not going to go anywhere. Which is kind of interesting. I'll figure out what I do. So the only concern I have is it should be direct swap, right? Same bolt, threads, same everything. I just need to check and see if the crankshaft length from a power washer is usually shorter than a lawnmower. So if the crankshaft length is exactly the same and I'm able to remove the pulley and blade adapter off of that shaft and it's not too rusted, then we're golden, you know. But I know I'm going to have to struggle with the crankshaft pulley and blade adapter, because I always have problems. Everybody has problems with it. Very rarely does it just fly right off, you know. Very rare. But before I start taking the engine off, I'm going to start it up and show you about the smoke. Crap, there's no gas in it. I don't want to have to put gas in it and then have to drain it again just to take it out. Look, take my word for it, it smokes, okay? So I've got the machine propped up on its side. The side where the dipstick is on, so that oil and gas won't flow into the carburetor and drip all out. As you know from yesterday's episode, I did an engine swap with my 2-episode engine swap from a Honda engine onto a Craftsman deck, and that turned out to be a fiasco. You know, I tried like 3 different engines, but that worked out okay because we finally, the end product of that push mower is a pretty nice one. Unfortunately, I don't have a bag, but it's a good mower, you know. Engine runs great. As you know, I also broke off a couple of bolts that were so rusted on there, that the engine mounting bolts, that, you know, I should have learned my lesson. So instead of me using my usual brand, I'm trying something different. This is Zepp Twister Ultra. Twists off rusted nuts and bolts like a prairie tornado. Just from that, I gotta try it. You know what I mean? So I learned my lesson. I'm gonna spray some of this Zepp Twister Ultra onto the 3 5/8 bolts. That's right, 5/8, not 9/16. Pretty fat bolts for mounting a push mower engine. Put some on the blade adapter as well. Usually you don't have too much trouble with these, but you never know. I'll let that percolate a little bit. Then I'll get my impact ready. Take the blade bolt off, the blade adapter, the 3 engine bolts that hold the engine on there. I'm going to first disconnect the pull rope. See a little better now. I'm trying to get a little better with my angling. I remember a comment from Jeff Vickers where I criticized Scott Keller about his camera skills, and he says that I actually have some learning to do in terms of camera skills, and you are absolutely correct, my friend. No offense whatsoever taken. Even though I've been doing this for 2 years, I've gotten way better at filming, but obviously not perfect. Hey, you know, I never said I was a professional, you know, but maybe one day I will. Not. Anyway, this is a 9/16. It's going. I can see it moving. There you go. There be the blade adapter. I'm sorry, the crankshaft bolt, washer, blade. Blade could use some sharpening. Ooh, look. I was worried that the blade adapter wouldn't come off, but I feel it jiggling. Oh, what did I just say before about how it's almost impossible for me to get it off, like lickety-split? How about that, huh? Came right off. However, I'm looking at this crankshaft length, right? And it seems shorter than the one that I have for the other mower. You get a ruler. Looky here. From the base of the engine, it's about 3 inches, man. Base of the engine, 2.5. Oh, oh no. With this thing here, is that like that? actually, that's all right. I'm looking at, I don't know what I was measuring before. It's 2.5 inches. Yeah, it's 2.5 inches. It's identical. Identical!
Identical.
And yes, we have now run into our first hurdle. And that hurdle be, this is the blade adapter from the JS63, right? The length of the crankshaft is identical. However, the width of the crankshaft is not. It is so loose. This is so much bigger than this. Which means that the blade bolt that I got off of the JS63 son of a gun, it does work. It doesn't look like it'll go all the way in there, though. Go all the way in. I might have to find another blade adapter for this. Good God, it's an absolute mess back here. I just went through everything that I have in terms of adapters and pulleys. At least for push mowers. That's all I came up with. I don't think we're going to be able to do this. So these 3 engines that I had here. That one's the auto choke one. That one is the one that smokes from the original Craftsman. And that one is the one that, the Murray one that won't start because of the timing or something like that. The one that I worked on for 2 episodes. Anyway, they all had blade adapters on them, and so I couldn't get them off, but then I sprayed some penetrating oil on there, let it soak for a bit, used a sledgehammer and chisel, and all 3 adapters came off, so I have 3 more adapters to test. Along with the ones I found in my parts bin, hopefully we can get one of these pulleys and adapters to fit on this one. So I've been trying this with all the ones that I have, and ones with pulleys on them, you know, and it's been kind of difficult, you know, just trying to figure all of them out, you know. This one here, the only pulley, separate pulley I have is the same width as the JS63. It's too wide. It's 1 inch, right? I think this is a 7/8. So I found this one, right? This one doesn't have a keyway thing. I guess I could put a Woodruff key right in there. I think I have an extra. But it also has a Allen screw-in type thing. I think a Woodruff key would probably work better. As you can see, there's fittings, one for the pulley and one for the blade adapter. Okay, so on the JS63, it's supposed to sit up right on top, right close to the base of the engine block. So if I put it in this way, right, it would sit too low, right? So that's not good. So I would put a Woodruff key there. And there's the keyway there. This is the right diameter, and it would fit right in there. Okay. This one here, I believe, is off the Murray. And when you match the original JS63 one up right here, right? There's the base of it where the blade goes, right? And if you look at it, it sits exactly the same height. Okay, so I think this will work. And this fits along with the keyway. At least it did. Oh, keyway's on the bottom. It has 2. One, the long keyway, and then one for a Woodruff if you had it. So it gives you 2 options. So, I'm just going to test it again to see if this is how it sat, and this is the length that it came down. So this is my setup here. From the base to here, it's 4 1/4 inches. That's where the blade will sit. The original John Deere one, blade of the base, perfect, 4 1/4. So this is going to work. Just put a Woodruff key in there. Now I'm tightening the Allen just to give it some more stability. Okay, now I'm going to remove the belt that's over the pulley. This is obviously designed so that the belt is always tight. It doesn't loosen or tighten. It's on here one tension. Once you engage the bail handle for the self-propulsion, it engages the transmission to move it, or it's to move the gearbox. So this is not going to be loose. I'm just going to bend it like Beckham a little and rotate the thing so it comes off. See how the belt is like, I don't know if that's going to work actually. It's going to be a problem getting this pulley off too. I might have to put this the other direction. Yep, that's going to be a problem. I don't know how I'm going to get that pulley off. You know what? If I remove the engine, yes, I'm going to do that. If I take this belt and loop it at least over here, right? When I pull the engine off, it will slip off. Then I'll just slip it back on as I'm pulling the new engine on. Damn it. See? Now that it's over this, right? When I pull the engine off, it should come right off. Hopefully. Okay, so let's see if that ZEP stuff worked and I don't strip any bolts while taking this engine off. Not that it matters because this engine smokes anyway. I just use it for parts. That's strange. Is it stripping? Yay, that's one. This one, I don't. Why does that? Just wasn't snug enough. Believe it or not, the 15 millimeter fits really well. Why would it be a millimeter? Briggs. Engine's gonna come off. And I guess that ZEP worked. The screws came right out pretty easily. Okay, the engine slipped off, but the brake cable's still attached. Okay, the brake cable's off. And then comes right off. Now the tricky part. Slip this engine on it. I'm gonna, of course, change the cover from that one to this one so that it matches. It looks exactly the same, you know. I'm gonna reach underneath and try to fit a couple of bolts in there loosely just so I can pivot it and then tighten it. So I've got the engine mounted on there, and I also slipped the belt over the pulley. And now I'm just going to sharpen the blades here with my grinder with the disc on there. And as you guys know, I got this as a gift from one of my subscribers, subscriber Samuel Sandoval. Such a sweetheart. Look at this. He actually was concerned that I didn't have the proper inner and outer. Henry encloses a Milwaukee outer disc flange. You can use it instead of the Ryobi, and maybe it will work with the spanner wrench you already have. Enjoy, subscriber Sam. Such a nice guy, I swear. Thank you very much. So he sent me this in case my spanner tool for my Harbor Freights one fits. So it is a little bit different, right? A little bit wider. Let me go get the Harbor Freight spanner wrench and see. A good attempt, but unfortunately no cigar. This is the Harbor Freight one. It's off by just a smidgen, just a little bit, you know. But valiant effort, though. Sam, honestly, bro, thank you so much, but stop wasting money on shipping this stuff to me, man. I really appreciate it, but I don't want you to go and spend any money, you know what I'm saying? But this works just fine. I'm going to sharpen the blades now. Hey, look, don't get me wrong. I really appreciate the gifts you send me. But sometimes some guys ask me, they said, hey, Henry, would you like the, let's see, what was it? Would you like the entire auger assembly off of mine? And while I appreciate it, you know, I think it was, crap, I don't remember. Anyway, so it was from Nova Scotia. I'm like, dude, I'm like in New York. Do you know how much shipping an auger assembly would be from Nova Scotia to New York? Actually, that's not really that far away. But the shipping would be like $150, $200 plus custom fees and all that other jazz. It's not worth it, man. Wow. And that's all it takes, man. Don't want to take too much off because then the balance will be off. That is sharp. Show you how sharp. Well, you get the picture. I mean, it's gonna cut no matter what, but trust me, you can hear it. Get the blade on there. I'm just gonna tighten it now. Impact 9/16. Belts on there, pulleys on there, tight, adapters on there, blades on there. Blades are sharpened. It's going in the right direction. You know by pulling the cord a little bit, and it's going counterclockwise, which is where the blades are. Hey, that wasn't too bad, right? Of course, it is yet to start. Bone dry. Auto choke. I kind of like the auto choke, but should I? So This is choke. That's choke. This is high throttle. It's turtle, rabbit. Shut it off that way too. So that's choke. Alright, you know what? I'm going to put some gas in it and fire it up and see what happens. I'm going to put some gas in here. Somebody commented, "Hey Henry, really like your Blitz can and Blitz spout." Apparently this spout is illegal because there's no restrictions. You open it up and you pour as fast or as slow as you want. This can is NFS, not for sale. I've always had terrible leaky cans, and this one works great. Do you know where I got this from? Jason Pate. He threw it out and he asked me if I wanted it. I went and got it. Jason Pate of Pate's Mowers. You guys like that? I like that too. Alright, I'm just going to let it roll. I'm a little scared. Maybe a blade might fly off and chop off both my legs. Okay. Rabbit, choke. Auto choke. No bail handle, right? It's off a power washer. Something's up. Something's stuck. Almost like it's hydrolocked. Which I wouldn't be surprised because we had it on its side. I'm going to take the spark plug out to see if we have a lot of Earl in there. Okay, I took the spark plug out. In case a lot of Earl comes out. Just going to give it a pull. You know why? Because this is a auto choke, it's designed to have a shorter cord because you pull it from here, not from over there. There's nothing wrong with it. I just have to swap the this top cover as well as the engine cover so that the original, more longer pull cord is on there. That's all it was. Well, you know what? It's good to take the spark plug out anyway. Alright. Guess I gotta start it from over here. There's no bail handle, remember? smoke. Even when I had it on its side like that, you would figure some Earl got into the muffler and made some smoke. Doesn't smoke at all. That's great. Stokage. Another success story. I've been having a couple of bad videos lately where I do not have success. Took me 2 episodes to get that push mower going. Last 2 episodes. Then Troy Built was a success, and looks like this engine swap is a success. I'm going to now take off that top cover and replace it with the John Deere engine cover, as well as the recoil starter engine shroud, because I want a longer string, a longer rope that goes to the handle, you know, so you can stand there and pull it instead of having to stand here and pull it, you know. That was easy. Now we have the original engine cover with the recoil starter with the long rope from John Deere on here. So we know that we can stand that back there and be able to do a full pull. The cover on there, everything matched exactly as that one. They were identical. So it looks like we were successful here. I'm very happy. That is, if it starts. I guess I gotta choke it again. So today we did an engine swap. Took a power washer engine, put it on the JS63. So let's go back a few months where some of the subscribers were telling me, hey Henry, it's impossible to put a power washer engine on a lawnmower. The crankshaft is too short, or too long, or doesn't have threads. Yes, that's all true. But how can you say that a pressure washer engine cannot be put on a lawnmower? Look, I just did it! Not without a lot of trouble, of course. You have to find just the right adapter, blade adapter for it. You have to measure the length. If it's a self-propelled machine, you have to make sure the pulleys are all right. The width of the crankshaft, as well as the crankshaft blade bolt that goes in there. So there's a lot of elements to, you know, reconfiguring it to fit. But as you guys just saw, this is a power washer engine on a lawnmower with the right blade adapter, the right crankshaft bolt, the right pulley size. And you know what, man? This is a good machine. I know that Jason wanted to see something in the springs, whatever. Well, I have an extra engine you could check out if you want. It smokes a little, but it works. Let me know if you want. Just come by, take a look at it. Anyway, this is good for sale, but it's winter, so nobody's going to buy it. But either way, wanted to get a good engine on here. John Deere Js63. Got to have a good engine on here that doesn't smoke, you know, if you want to get some good money for it. Which I'll probably get very good money for in the beginning of spring of next year, you know. But I proved today that we can do a power washer engine onto a lawnmower, and as long as you've got the right size and adapters and stuff, it'll work. This thing's ready to go. I'm going to remove that brake cable and that bail handle so that it doesn't appear like, you know, something's not working, you know. But as you know, having an auto choke is better than having a primer. You know what I'm saying? This actually increases the value of the machine, because I mean, I personally like the auto choke. I don't want a prime. You know what I mean? I like to just pull it and go. You know. So that's it. That's today's video. I appreciate you guys joining me on my John Deere engine swap from a power washer. It was fun. I'll see you guys next time on Mowers and Blowers. But wait, there's more. Some nut wants to buy just the snow plow part of this. And so I'm going to just remove it for $25. See how hard it is to remove all that. Channel, buy a sticker. Also follow me on Instagram at Mowers Blowers. Check out my website, mowersblowers.com. See you guys on the next project. Have a great day. See you guys next time on Mowers and Blowers.